Super Bowl rings used to be a modest token of victory, an understated trinket to be worn as a keepsake. But after 56 years, Super Bowl rings have become absolutely absurd. Audacious statements of bravado, stylish and opulent pieces of obnoxious, braggadocious behavior. As the old saying goes, money can't buy taste, so let's look at them all. Critiquing every Super Bowl ring is coming up right after this. Super Bowl 1. Green Bay Packers. This is numero uno, the first Super Bowl ring, which looks like a nice high school class ring. It was actually designed by Vince Lombardi, Willie Davis, and Bob Skoronski, whose grandson is headed to the NFL. You can see on the side where they added the AFL logo, a nice gesture considering this was pre-merger. The diamond in the middle, though classic, doesn't look all that impressive to me, and its size of 0.5 carat pales in comparison to others you will see on this list. Super Bowl 2. Green Bay Packers. A little more design was added to this one, as it kind of looks like the mutated fish from that Simpsons episode. You may be wondering why they skipped to 3 diamonds. It's because the Packers were actually celebrating having won 3 NFL championships in a row, not consecutive Super Bowls. Again, the ring acknowledges the NFL AFL participation and gives a shout out to the world, because that's what Americans do, win world championships, despite not playing the world. Super Bowl 3, New York Jets. Boy, I bet if the Jets knew this was going to be their only freaking ring in almost 60 years, they would have maybe made it a lot fancier. The ring also features the words poise and execution, which is how I would describe Joe Namath's Riz while hitting on Susie Colbert drunk on the sidelines.
What does it mean to you now when the team is struggling?
I want to kiss you. I couldn't care less about the team struggling.
Super Bowl 4, Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs players actually received these in the mail instead of a ring ceremony like they do nowadays. With this design, you see them start to add a little flair with the ruby inlay for the front and the first depiction of the Lombardi Trophy on the side, though at the time it was called the World Professional Football Championship Trophy. Wheat and laurel are on the side, which symbolize victory. This one is nice, but still reflective of that class ring style of the era. Super Bowl 5, Baltimore Colts. The Colts' first Super Bowl ring added style with the addition of sapphires that surrounded the 1-carat diamond in the center. Now you see them getting a little more creative. I like the beveled front of the ring, but you can tell the ring manufacturer Jostens was still sort of using that same base and style any high schooler could find in a catalog. The final score is listed on the side of what was maybe the least memorable Super Bowl of all time. Seriously, does anyone remember what happened in Super Bowl 5? Super Bowl 6, Dallas Cowboys. Here we have our first obnoxious ring, and of course it belongs to the Dallas Cowboys. The star in the middle isn't the right kind of star like the one on the helmet that's on the side. Good job, you idiot. The inlay is also synthetic, not actual sapphire. Also, this one has the NFL logo on the side. Super Bowl 7, Miami Dolphins. Here's the ring the Dolphins just won't shut up about. It has 17 diamonds on the front, representing the perfect season, of course. Which in today's world, winning 17 games doesn't even mean that you have won a playoff game yet. The 17-0 and perfect season iconography is all over this ring, which is fair. Nobody had done it before or since, but if an undefeated season would happen today, the ring would be the size of a brick. Still a nice design. Super Bowl 8, Miami Dolphins. For back-to-back championships, this is one of the plainest, most unoriginal designs. It's basically the ring from the year before, but now with 2 diamonds and a modest acknowledgement of their consecutive championships. They did color in the Dolphins logo a bit. Again, back then, this was a different era, and rings weren't as opulent as they are now. Super Bowl 9, Pittsburgh Steelers. For a team whose fans are pretty vocal about their accomplishments, this is an actually modest, understated ring. Just 1 diamond and etched graphics on the side for the team's first entry on this list. Again, it's pretty plain and straightforward. As you can see, this is Bradshaw's ring, and it looks like he has worn the F out of it, and it's now rusty as him doing highlights on Sundays now. Super Bowl 10, Pittsburgh Steelers. Now we're getting there. A ring that kind of looks like Squidward or a character from Fallout. 2 diamonds and the Lombardi in the middle. This is the first Super Bowl ring that features the Lombardi on the front as the piece of metal began growing its iconic status in the 70s. Again, very modest design and features, and oddly on the side it features a strange rendition of the Cowboys logo. I bet they wish they could grind that waste of space off now. Super Bowl 11, Oakland Raiders. A ring that's an easy reflection of the team's colors and branding. Literally, the Raiders are silver and black, so I think this is white gold. On the side, you see Al Davis sneak the old AFL logo on there as a big FU to the NFL, who he fought with tooth and nail before and after the merger. The ring features the word poise and pride, though I'm surprised it doesn't say combine speed. Super Bowl 12, Dallas Cowboys. Dallas once again with the stars that have obtuse angles. The ring pays homage to the team's 4 Super Bowl appearances, despite the fact that this was only their 2nd Super Bowl championship. Kind of like the Mystics raising an attendance banner. I'm not sure why this particular ring has a gap in it. Maybe it was resized and never closed. Super Bowl 13, Pittsburgh Steelers. Now you're seeing a little more intricate sculpting and graphics on the side of the ring, as the Steelers' 3rd championship has more ornate symbolism. The Lombardi on the side even sits in a depiction of a football stadium with the final score listed at the bottom. The front of the ring is the Steelers logo, but in diamond form. I like this design, pretty ornate and iconic for the era. Super Bowl 14, Pittsburgh Steelers. I guess the Rooneys got upset when the designer gave them the bill for their 3rd ring, as the Steelers' 4th championship ring is a regression towards a much simpler, understated design. The sides are extremely plain and offer minimal symbolism and information other than the player's name, the final score, and the Super Bowl number. Super Bowl 15, Oakland Raiders. This ring is basically a carbon copy of the Raiders' 1st ring, but now with 2 large diamonds on the front. How original. It even has the same words poise and pride on the sides, along with the AFL logo again as another FU to the NFL. Good old Al Davis just wouldn't let it go, huh? Super Bowl 16, San Francisco 49ers. The Niners' first entry on this list, a once again simple design with the Golden Gate Bridge sculpted on the side and a giant football coming in to strike the earth like a meteor. Nothing particularly special about this ring, probably one of the most plain on this list. Super Bowl 17, Washington Redacted. Ooh, they changed the name, but it's still on the fucking ring, NFL. Better get that metal file and erase history. Oh, look, that forbidden word is also on the side. Ooh, no. The Capitol building is also depicted on here, marking the most offensive thing on this piece of metal. Super Bowl 18, Los Angeles Raiders. Once again, Al Davis chose to copy the basic ring design from his previous 2 championships, right down to the AFL logo and the words poise and pride. I have to give him credit for the consistency, just like the consistency of him drafting nothing but speed in every one of his drafts. Super Bowl 19, San Francisco 49ers. Here we see one of the more detailed renderings of the Lombardi on the ring, complete with the NFL logo and shit. It's like a close-up. On the side is the Golden Gate Bridge once again, along with the player helmet on the other side. Nothing particularly fancy. Super Bowl 20, Chicago Bears. The Bears' one and only Super Bowl ring has a nice ornate front, but you would think their first ring would also be a little more over the top. Apparently, the team spent the allotted minimum of $4,000 towards it and not a penny more. Pretty on brand for the McCaskies. There is no acknowledgement of the Super Bowl shuffle, the 4-6 defense, or any fridges on the side. Super Bowl 21. New York Giants. The Giants' first entry on this list, they went pretty big on the front with the big blue underlay for the Diamond Lombardi that you see. Former wide receiver Bobby Johnson once famously pawned his ring because he was addicted to crack. Johnson eventually got sober and got his ring back. Other than that, this follows the standard mold of helmet on the side, score and date on the other. You kind of see a theme on how organizations are run and how their rings look, at least initially. Super Bowl 22, Washington Redskins. Oh, there it is, that awful name again. Oh no, bust out the Dremel and get to grinding. The design is actually not that bad, as the team ironically had dignity back then, and there is a team crest on one side and a monument to the other commemorating the absolute ass whooping they laid on the Broncos. This ring was designed by Tiffany & Company, not the other longtime designer, Jostens. Super Bowl 23, San Francisco 49ers. This is the only one of the 5 Niners rings not to feature the Golden Gate Bridge, as maybe they just felt it was too trite to include it this time. still a pretty standard design, nice enough. Super Bowl 24, San Francisco 49ers. The Niners went back-to-back, and this time they brought back the Golden Gate Bridge on the side, with a huge acknowledgement to the gaudy final of 55-10. This marks the beginning of the time period where the rings started to get larger and larger. Super Bowl 25, New York Giants. The second championship for the Giants. This one looks like it has the face of a blue ninja. LT's son actually sold his ring in 2012 as part of a collection, and it fetched $230,000.
Gentlemen, which brings me to my next point. Don't smoke crack.
Once again, a standard ring design with just a helmet on the side. Later versions would not be so bland. Super Bowl 26, Washington Redskins. Oh no, there it is again. That awful name everyone tolerated for 50 plus years. I actually like this design because it takes a noted departure away from the standard diamonds up front and actually incorporates indirect logo elements into the design. So that awful logo is on the side. The White House is also on it, even though the president had nothing to do with the win at all. Super Bowl 27, Dallas Cowboys. Here we are in that dark period of the NFL where the Cowboys dominated the league. Trust me, it was worse than the pandemic, and it lasted much longer. I will say I like the incorporation of more colors onto the sides and finally a properly shaped star on the front. Odd to place the NFL logo on the side instead of a full portrait of Jerry Jones. Super Bowl 28, Dallas Cowboys. Here we go. Now the rings are getting bigger and more in your face, just like a Cowboys fan. And this really is the beginning of Super Bowl rings going from big into the somewhat ridiculous category. You're also seeing an enormous amount of diamonds being added because diamonds really aren't that rare or valuable. And I know the diamond counts are symbolic, but ain't nobody got time for that. We have 56 of these total. Super Bowl 29, San Francisco 49ers. The Niners wrestled the title back from the Cowboys in 1995 and decided to try to one-up them with a gigantic ring to celebrate their 5th championship. And they added more color inlays to really make the side pop, as well as the Super Bowl 29 logo. The Golden Gate is there as well. Super Bowl 30, Dallas Cowboys. Ah yes, the last ring the Cowboys got before any of their actual fans were born. Dallas couldn't stand the Niners' one-upsmanship, so they decided to make an absolutely huge ring to celebrate their 5th. And yes, this time the star is correct. The team followed this up with 30-plus years of misery. Super Bowl 31, Green Bay Packers. After a 30-year absence from ring making, the Packers went pure Super Saiyan with this design, a giant G to celebrate their 3rd Super Bowl win. Not just the Packers G, it's raised and protruding outward to make it even more in your face. Rumor has it that Brett Favre kept his ring rather than selling it to help pay for a volleyball court. Won't you sue me, bitch? Super Bowl 32, Denver Broncos. After being listed as the second score on a lot of other rings, the Broncos finally broke through, and this ring looks swollen and pregnant with pride. The diamond inlaid demon horse logo adorns the front, while the side features more diamonds and stadium artwork. Super Bowl 33, Denver Broncos. Basically the same design as the year before, but we now have 2 giant demon Broncos up front and a full diamond face. Each of these diamonds symbolizes one of John Elway's oversized teeth. On one side, the number of Broncos Super Bowl appearances are acknowledged, while the other side shouts out the back-to-back wins. Pretty snazzy. Super Bowl 34, St. Louis Rams. More and more ridiculous we go. At least this version of the Rams logo is tolerable. The Greatest Show on Turf chose pretty standard graphics and put the St. Louis arch on the side as a shout out to St. Louis. Hey, how did that work out? Super Bowl 35, Baltimore Ravens. This ring kicks off the era of deep dimensional sculpture on the side that you will see much more of in later versions. It's a very sharp design. I'd say it even cuts like a knife. The front features the Ravens logo over a white gold gridiron, something no other ring did before. There are 40 diamonds on the sides to symbolize Art Modell's 40 years in the NFL and the word Invictus. I believe the diamond on the other side is for the giant screw job Art Modell laid on the city of Cleveland. Super Bowl 36, New England Patriots. In kind of a copy of the Ravens ring, this one also features the team logo in front of a golden gridiron. This would be the most modest and least ornate of all the Pats rings. The white gold ring has over 142 diamonds, one for all the massage parlors Robert Kraft has visited. Super Bowl 37, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A very simple design, easily the last of the understated rings of this era, though it is very large. Lots of negative space here. After this, pretty much every spot of real estate on the rings are covered in some type of sculpture or diamond. One side does feature the Tampa flag and the classic pirate ship. Yar. Super Bowl 38, New England Patriots. The Pats took 2 of 3, and now you're starting to see increasingly wild designs. The front is a sculpted model of a stadium with 2 giant Lombardis up front. On the side, the ring acknowledges 15 straight wins and the fact that they were undefeated at home. I wonder why that is. On the bottom it says 53, 17, and 1, which is for 53 players, the 17 coaches, and the 1 owner who loves hand jobs. Super Bowl 39, New England Patriots. This ring is an echo of the previous one, except now the Patriots just started listing out their accomplishments wherever they could. 3 of 4 Super Bowls, back-to-back, 21 straight practices, films, it's all listed on here. The thing is over the top huge. It's the first ring that doesn't have a square or rounded rectangular face design. It really is over the top huge. This is the ring Vladimir Putin stole from Robert Kraft, who was so afraid by the gesture that he insisted that he gave it to him like Red did with Debo and his bike. Super Bowl 40, Pittsburgh Steelers. For the one for the thumb, this might be the plainest, most understated Super Bowl ring that was coveted for so long. With so many great stories like the bust retiring in Detroit, the Steelers just opted for standard side graphics. And if you look closely, there's a ref etched onto the side too. Seahawks fan is triggered. Super Bowl 41, Indianapolis Colts. Indy finally broke through, but curiously chose to just have 1 Lombardi on the front, even though it was the franchise's second, but I guess first in Indianapolis. 3 horseshoes appear on this ring, perhaps as a sign of luck. However, they haven't had much since. Though large and colorful, this one is just a standard ring. Nothing too crazy other than the straw that comes out of the side that allows you to sniff coke. Super Bowl 42, New York Giants. All hail the New York Giants. The white gold ring is a monument to stopping the Patriots from having a mega douchey 19-0 ring. Michael Strahan was involved in the design, saying that he wanted a 10-table ring, one that could be seen from 10 tables away. Where are you where there's 10 tables? They also chose to acknowledge that they won 11 straight games on the road, even though the Super Bowl in Glendale was technically a neutral site. Super Bowl 43, Pittsburgh Steelers. I guess the Steelers couldn't wait to give it another go in the wake of their last design, so they chose this monster of a ring, one of the most colorful and audacious of the entire list. Hines Ward actually designed this, or set the basic idea of it with a sketch, and audacity was indeed his intention, aiming to make it a ring bigger than the previous one so he could flex on Jerome Bettis. And damn if it isn't big. Super Bowl 44, New Orleans Saints. Okay, this one is pretty simple from the front, a fleur-de-lis, a shit ton of diamonds. It's the artwork on the side that's pretty intricate. You got some of the music lines for jazz, the St. Louis Cathedral, the Superdome, and a broken bone for Bounty Gate. And it says, finish, be special, and smell greatness. But anyone that's been to New Orleans knows that that smell isn't greatness. Super Bowl 45, Green Bay Packers. Once again, the Packers went with a raised G for Green Bay, but no direct shoutouts to cheese. There is an engraving of Lambeau on the side and a huge negative space etching of the Lombardi on the other. Inside there is a phrase Charles Woodson uttered before the Super Bowl, which was, "Please let me win one. I am old and this may be the only one Aaron gets." Especially that I know in the future he's going to become a Jet. Super Bowl 46, New York Giants. Now the Giants entered the fray with their version of an obnoxious ring. The inside has the phrases "all in" and "finish," which was what your dad probably muttered to himself the night you were conceived. The ring dates their previous championships and shouts out the year the team was founded in 1925. I personally like this symmetrical square design. It's very classy. Super Bowl 47, Baltimore Ravens. Not only is this ring huge, but the front is multi-layered and deep with the inlaid purple Ravens logo on top. This thing is so dimensional, it looks like it should spin or something, like one of those watches. On the side it says play like a Raven, and on the inside it says the team 3 times. After the game, Ray Lewis commissioned a diamond-encrusted knife to celebrate his retirement from killing. Super Bowl 48, Seattle Seahawks. The first ring to acknowledge the team's fans, this one has 12 printed on the side as an homage to the 12th man. They paid Texas A&M to use the phrase, they might as well put it everywhere. On the side, a cool sculpture of Lumen Field. On the other, the Super Bowl logo and the skyline of Seattle. Not bad for the team's first entry, though they should have too. Super Bowl 49, New England Patriots. Thanks a lot, Seattle, because you didn't give it to Marshawn. We now have to look at this monster, the 4th Patriots ring. It's pretty simple in design, actually, a departure from the previous one, which was over the top. It seemed like now they were getting used to these, unfortunately. The ring cost a staggering $36,000 to make. Super Bowl 50, Denver Broncos, a Super Bowl ring that has more orange in it than the former president. It has a giant 50 in the middle as an homage to 50 Cent. No, it was for Super Bowl 50, dummy. The side has a phrase, this one is for Pat, as their longtime owner, who was suffering from dementia at the time, got to witness his team win one more. Each player also got their number encrusted in diamonds. So if you were the janitor who worked for the Broncos, did you get a diamond broom on yours? Super Bowl 51, New England Patriots. Jesus, here we are again. The Patriots went back to being obnoxious with an over-the-top, massive cruise ship of a ring with 5 raised Lombardis and another giant Pats logo. Inside is inscripted, greatest comeback ever. The ring features 283 total diamonds, and I have to say I love them for doing that. Arthur Blank apparently took that personally, calling it carrot insult. How about not blowing a 25-point lead in the 3rd quarter, Arthur? Super Bowl 52, Philadelphia Eagles. When you have only one, you go big. The Eagles certainly did with the depth behind the logo and the inlaid emerald accents. The phrase, we all got what we all need, was put on the side as a nod to everyone who comes to Philly and gets a cheesesteak. I do like the stadium rendering of the link on the side. Nice design, even though I hate the Eagles. Super Bowl 53, New England Patriots. Hopefully the last one of these for a while. This one went insane with the diamonds on the front, side, and all around. I couldn't find anywhere that said what 16, 14, 04, 03, 01 are on the bottom, just assuming these are lottery numbers. Just kidding, that's all their damn championship years. This is the largest Super Bowl ring ever made. It's about the size of an Egg McMuffin. Super Bowl 54, Kansas City Chiefs. Another absolute monster of a ring, Patty Mahomes, first one, and the second for the team is a diamond and ruby encrusted monster. On the bottom is a logo honoring late Chiefs owner Lamar Hunt. Inside the team's playoff victories are listed with a big thank you note to the Texans for trying to fake punt up 24-7. Super Bowl 55, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Terrific's 7th ring. This one is the first 2-piece design where the fucking top can be taken off to reveal a mini hand-carved 24-karat gold Raymond James Stadium as an honor to the team winning it in their own stadium. The front has the Bucs logo and is round in the shape of COVID. Seriously, the twist off top is pretty cool. You can also keep a few snacks in there if you want. It would suck if you got drunk and that part fell off and you lost it. The ring has a total of 319 diamonds for the final score, and again, COVID-19. Super Bowl 56, Los Angeles Rams. Now, this is just the mother of all rings. The first one that is more of a toy than actual jewelry. At first glance, it's just a big-ass ring, but like a transformer, there's more than meets the eye. The front has palm trees, that awful LA logo, and huge diamonds. The side says we, not me, which is basically what O.J. Simpson yelled when he was acquitted of murder. But there is more. Take the top off and there is a mini SoFi Stadium inside, a direct ripoff of the Bucs ring. On the top piece, which is shaped like SoFi Stadium, there's a piece of the game ball and a shroud of the stadium turf inside. It's a 20-karat weight to symbolize 2020 when SoFi opened, which is huge, by the way. And all the diamond counts add up to some shit, but who cares about numerology? I don't. So there you have it. Until the Chiefs go out and unveil their rings in the fall, who knows? Maybe a diamond robot Jackson Mahomes will pop out of it and do TikTok dances just to annoy us all. Until next time, I 5 Points Vids, and you made it. to my next video.
A spokesman for Kraft told CBS this morning it's a humorous anecdotal story that Robert retells for laughs. He loves that his ring is at the Kremlin. But for the Kremlin, it was no laughing matter. A spokesman told reporters if Kraft wants the ring back that badly, Putin is willing to send him another ring as a gift.
That's my fight, punk!